Thank you very much, guys. This is Life with Decent Q. I'm sure you guys are well aware about the story that happened in the South African National Defense Force, where it was reported that the female soldiers representing South Africa, defending South Africa, they ended up falling pregnant out there in the wilderness, out there in the camps. They fell pregnant. They didn't fall pregnant from their men here back at home. They fell pregnant in the camps from another man. And hearing stories like this, it raises so many questions. And I want us to talk about this because I think it's a wonderful thing to talk about. And guys, I hope you guys are still subscribing. I hope you're still liking. And I see everyone who has subscribed, everyone who keeps on watching, supporting, sharing. We thank you very much. We see the amazing work. Let's talk about this, and you guys, you must engage with me because this is a critical topic. It raises a lot of questions about the state of our country. But first, before we speak about the state of the country and the state of the defense force, let's speak about these women who fell pregnant. I don't see any problem with the women falling pregnant, by the way. It's natural. It's natural and it's biological, and it's what God wants. It's how God designed it to be. Whether she fell pregnant while she was cheating, whether she fell pregnant out there in the camps, whether she fell pregnant to her own husband, her own boyfriend, it's bound to happen. Women fall pregnant. It's not taboo for women to fall pregnant. So that one, I think we don't need to shame the women for falling pregnant. It happens. People fall pregnant. But we can question, the integrity of the defense force, like whereby these two genders ending up having sex out there in the camps. These people are supposed to be colleagues, by the way. They are supposed to be working together to defend the country as colleagues, not as boyfriend and girlfriend. But maybe Bashayo Tswai, and then they ended up doing the things. After all, attraction happens anywhere. You can't control it. High emotions, high temperature, people can do whatever, Plus, they're out there in the bushes. There is no one to keep this toy on. So, yeah, it's understandable. Also, because they are camping out there and there's no one to sleep with, and it's not like these people are aliens. It's not like they are robots. They are human beings. They have those cravings of sex like anybody else, like even you two who's watching here. Unless maybe if your blood flows don't work proper, maybe you don't think about sex. But I doubt the people who watch me are like that. I like to believe people who watch my content, they are proper human beings with a proper sense of humor. If you get it, you get it. Okay, let's speak about the state of our country. Why would the country allow the deployment of women into war? That one I don't understand. And I don't even want to bash women and be those type of guys who are being misogynistic towards women. I don't want to even do that. And this is not even about that. But this is just to question the type of leadership we have that will sit down and allow women to go out there in spaces where it's high risk and high danger zones. After all, let's say this woman was pregnant for 3 months, and then war happens in that period of her being pregnant for 3 months. Maybe she's keeping it a secret. She's not telling the generals because it's like a shame to tell. After all, she left her husband back at home, so she has to keep it a secret. How did she fall pregnant? We've been here 6 months and you are pregnant 3 months. So what happens within the 3 months if there's war happening? Should she put herself at risk and the baby? Because that's bound to happen. What about when she get trauma and then things like miscarriage happen? Because she's bound to get trauma out there. There's bombs, there's guns, there's ammunition. I don't care how much you say you trained them. You can train them all you want, but you can't take away the human element in people. They still feel shock. They still feel all these emotions of anxiety, even with high proper training. Worst part, these are women. They have high levels of emotions. Okay, maybe I'm just overthinking this whole thing. Maybe it's not that deep. It's not that deep, maybe. But should women go out there and fight in defense of the country, fighting with other with other military gangs, with other military of other countries, which are very competitive, and those militaries, it's usually men only, highly trained men, highly trained assassins. And us, we're not highly training our military, and then we want to involve women, and still we're not highly training even when there's women involved. But we expect these people to defend the state of our country, defending it from people who deploy the best of the best quality of men who are so competitive and ready to die for their own countries. So is putting women out there in the forefront gonna help our country become secure, or it's just gonna weaken? If women are even getting pregnant out there in the camps, that means it's more likely for them to even get raped by the other military gangs. What happens when they defeat this camp and there's women there? Should these women be left vulnerable? What happens when these, because we have seen it plenty of times whereby in war, men, when they capture a certain camp of their rivalries, of their opposition, they destroy them, they bomb them, and then the survivors, they end up raping those men who they found. So imagine now these people, they find women there after they've destroyed everything, and then these women are left there like vulnerable. So should they be subjected? Like, do you guys get where I'm going with this? Because this is YouTube, you know, I also have to mind my language. I can't just speak out of pocket. But you guys know what I'm saying. Because things like that are more likely to happen. If a woman can fall pregnant in her own camp with their own people, what happens then? When her own people, they lose this thing, and then people run all over, they flee the country, they flee at the spaces where they are currently deployed. They run all over and look for shelter, and then it happens these women, they run alone and there's no man in protection of them, and then boom, these other gangs, these other military of these other men with high testosterone, with high masculinity, and with high frustration because they've been camping, and they find these women. Don't you think these women will be a subject of rape? It's bound to happen. It's gonna happen. That's what is gonna happen. I'm not saying it shouldn't, but in the reality of things, that's what always happens. So it's just putting women out there. I know some women will just say it's their choice, they want to do it, but it's also the choice of the government and the military commanders to reject them or accept them. And I feel like women always give the excuse that no, there's high unemployment, so you'll get there and then you'll be fine because you're deployed, now you have a job, you're getting paid by the state. So they're doing this because of unemployment. It's not because they want to defend the state of the country. It shouldn't be about because there's high unemployment then you want to be a soldier. It should be a higher calling that you want to defend the state of the country. But maybe I'm just overreacting. But I find it fascinating that there's women who fell pregnant out there in the camps. I can't imagine the pain there are men who are sitting at home, maybe working a 9 to 5 or doing something else while their women is out there in the wilderness, when they hear the news that they haven't been sleeping with their women for the past 6 months, but she's been pregnant for 3 months. That must be a different pain for these men who are married to those women or who are dating those women. If they're single women, kudos to them. May those who made them pregnant take care of those children, because we don't want to live in a society whereby men abandon children. That one we don't want. Like, that one shouldn't be shouldn't even be encouraged in our society. Shouldn't be a thing. It should never even be a topic or a conversation. It should not happen, you know. But yeah, man, I just find it fascinating. I don't know what you guys think about this, and I hope guys you're liking, subscribing, and please, man, subscribe the channel. We want the channel to grow. We want the boy to get monetized over this side on this channel, and we want a YouTube algorithm to see us that yeah, even us, we are here, we're having conversations, and we're engaging with the people of South Africa about very critical and very serious conversations. So you should like, you should comment if you have something to say, or you should comment on someone who said something and you disagree with it. But keep it real. Don't insult each other, guys. Let's be respectful and let's respect each other, and let's grow together. Let's grow this channel. You know, after all, I'm doing all of this for people who watch and people who are willing to engage in honest discussions. But with this one, I feel like you guys can engage more with me and tell me what you think about this, because this is very scary, man. Like women falling pregnant out there in the camps, but us as the country, we think these people are fighting for the country, but they are busy having sex out there in the camps, falling pregnant. That should be very scary, you know. The state of our country is really under attack, and it feels like it's also infiltrated from within the womb. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. Thank you very much. God bless you.